event. So thank you, Sarah.
Well, I'm delighted to be here in a sewing hour. I bet you never thought you would see that.
I didn't. I wasn't going to say anything.
Sarah has learned to sew. And not only has Sarah learned to sew, but Sarah's on a mission to get the rest of you to sew. So if you're out there and you are already a sewist, someone who's a sewing enthusiast, I hope you'll enjoy the show that I've got and learn some new things. If you are someone who's a little bit like me, I did a little bit of sewing, Valerie, when I was a kid. You know, my mum taught me, we used to do some of the really basics, but now it just got lost over the years and we didn't bother. And my mum had a sewing machine, it ended up at the back of the attic somewhere, and we just didn't do that. And then a few months ago, when we launched the Builder Block system, I was desperate to give this a go. So we've actually developed our own machine, and we've developed the Gemini Stitch Machine.
Wonderful.
I wanted it to be the starter machine for everyone, but the machine that wasn't just going to start you off, it was going to start you and develop you on that journey. So there's no point you getting him, because you can get a starter machine these days, honestly, for like $70, $80.
Sure.
But would it go through denim? Would it go through leather? Would it be able to allow you to do things like buttonholes and vary the stitch, to put different feet on there? It wouldn't, and all that'll happen is, that'll be great for you for a month or a couple of months. And then quickly you're going to be wanting to be into the next thing. So what I did is I built all of the features that you would need, not only to be a beginner sewer, but an intermediate sewer, to move on to things like dressmaking, a little bit of home decor. You can see all the different stitches we've got there. So whether this is you starting off on your crafting journey, or whether this is you just wanting to do a few odd jobs around the home, go back to that make, do and mend mentality instead of this fast fashion culture we've got into, whereby if the hem drops on your trousers, you just buy a new set. That's ridiculous.
Which will cost you a flex
There's no reason. Well, that's it. For under $30, every home in America can now have a machine. Right, let's go for a quick stitch. So, I want you to see, if you can hold the machine to go in a straight line, you can do this. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know anything about sewing. All I'm doing...
It glides through so easily.
Look at this perfect stitch. This is stitching a faux leather onto one of these special effects suedes. Straight through there, absolutely no problem. I can then take something like an upholstery fabric. So if you are wanting to do a little bit of upcycling, if you are one of those Pinterest obsessed women, and I am one of those, I'll be honest, I am putting myself in that bracket, and you've seen all these upcycling projects that you want to work on, this is absolutely the machine to get to do that. Now you can see it's a workhorse. Even going through those thicker materials, it's going through them with absolutely no problem whatsoever. And we can even now progress on to do things like your home decor items. Look at this. Beautiful, perfect stitch.
That's your upholstery, those are your curtains, that's your bed.
Straight through, no problem. Now, let me walk you through actually the features of the machine, first of all, So, as well as the machine, what you are getting in here, you are getting a stitch library of 33 stitches. 33. So this means that these are all the basics that you're going to start off with, but then we're going to be able to progress another level and another level again. Plus, each of these you could do as a twin stitch. So you can put the double needle in here, which comes included, which doubles the number of stitches again that you could be doing, You've got all the features to vary the stitch length and the stitch width. You can adjust your tension here if you need to. If I might as well be talking Swahili to you, don't worry. I don't worry about adjusting the tension. The tension is preset for you. But if I bring this in, these are all of the different stitches you're going to be able to do. Now, if you're watching and thinking, well, why would I want to do all of that? Why would I need to do all of these stitches? A lot of these stitches are stitches with a purpose. So yes, some of them are just to look really pretty. And I've used them to decorate the edges. You'll see some of the projects we go and do, but some of them have a function. For example, if I come along here to stitch E, and all we do if we want to change it is turn the dial. So stitch E is this one here. This is actually the blind hem stitch, right?
That sounds very advanced.
It sounds very advanced and fancy, my dear. When you come in the instruction booklet, I didn't know this is how you did a blind hem. It walks you through all of it.
Perfect.
So it tells you all about how to do the blind hem stitch. So I've put the appropriate stitch on. We're going to blind hem pair of my old trousers. Pair of my old trousers where the hem had come undone, and it easily does. It easily comes undone. So all you need to do is you double turn over your hem. So let me just hold this up here. I'm going to try and do this for the camera. So you get this hem turned up ready. And then what we're going to do is something which I think is really super clever. And this is always, if you just go on YouTube, it'll take you through this. We're going to flip this over so that we're going to stitch down the side here and we're going to catch the little stitch. And what I'm going to do is I'm doing it in white here so that you can see my purple thread on the white. Now, if I take this off, this now gives me a full arm to stitch around. So if you are doing things like trouser legs, you're going to be able to stitch around the legs. Can you see?
Yeah.
Comes over here like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to stitch down this side. So if I put my little foot down now, hold this in place, we're going to stitch down that side. I am just going to have to turn. I'm good, I'm not that good. I can't sew back to front upside down. I can do a little bit. So what this does is, it gives me the stitch so that only every third stitch catches onto my actual hem.
Oh, wow.
Right, so what I'll do, I won't go all the way around my trouser legs. We'll be here, well, we'll be here about 3 minutes. And that's what you need to be remembering, 3 minutes to hem a trouser leg. So can you see that stitch? What it's doing is, it's going stitch, 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 catch the edge. Stitch, 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 catch the edge. So that when you turn these back inside out, the other way, the bottom of your hem, this is how a blind hem works. Now you can see it in that purple, but actually, if you'd done that in white cotton,
you'd never see it.
Because you don't want to see the running stitch going through, you just want to see that little hem. So now, there's no reason why we can't hem our own pair of trousers. It literally takes minutes.
And here's the big deal. Today, we're so excited that Sarah is bringing this to us because just as she mentioned, this is kind of like your beginner sewing machine that allows you to grow with it, getting to that intermediate level. I'd love to show you everything that you're going to get because this is a fully feature-rich sewing machine. So you're getting everything that you need to get started, and we're doing it on 5 flexible payments as part of this big crafting event. So it's under $30 to get home. And I know you might be thinking about gifting, and if you are, whether it's to yourself or a loved one, you have extended holiday returns. So we have until January 31st to decide if you want to keep it or you want to return it. That's a lot of sewing, that's a lot of stitching, that's a lot of repairing and mending things and not having to pay somebody to do those alterations. So Sarah's going to walk us through everything that we get in this big bundle.
Yes, well what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you this board so you can see everything that comes included. You guys, cameras, you could all stay over there if you want. I'm coming back to do a bit more sewing in a minute, but I wanted you to see, you're going to get, now here's the thing, you saw me use the regular foot. In a second, I'm going to show you how you can put the zipper foot on, which comes included. How if you want to do the darning and embroidery, this also comes included. Usually you would be paying extra for all of these, but we've included them in with the kit. Your buttonhole, I'm going to be showing you how to do. We've got the extra long arm for your quilting, the quilting guide here. Things like your spool holders, your seam ripper, you'd expect those as standard. But as well as your bundle that comes with the machine, because we're all about education, we're about getting you started, I know you're coming on that journey. I'm going to send you the latest issue of our magazine. So over 30 projects. So you're going to learn how to do things like bag making, doing your own stuffed animals. If you want to do a little bit of quilting, some embroidery in there. It talks you through all of that, but you also get a fat quarter of fabric. You're going to get a whole pattern pack for how to do your own bags. So you can do a shoulder bag in there, a little zipper bag. Bags is where I've started, and I know bags is where a lot of you will start. We don't start and go straight into making our own dress. You're going to start with the basics and build up. So you get all of these templates for the different bags and a template here for doing fancy appliques, seeing as you've got that quilting arm in there. So that is everything that is coming in addition to the machine. Now remember, these are all the bonus extras on top of the actual machine.
Well, it is surely a treat to be able to have Sarah here and to be able to kind of advance into this new realm for you, into sewing. You know, and you mentioned it earlier. You know, I grew up with my mom sewing at her sewing machine, and as a child you think, wow, you know, mom can fix and do everything, right? I can't. So I was telling Sarah before the show, I have curtains that in my new home, they're too long. In my old home, they fit perfectly, but in this, and you know how many times I've said, well, I've got to find somebody that I've got to pay to do a straight line stitch when I should be able to do that.
You wouldn't be able to, look at the first cost, the first flexi pay, you would be able to, you would pay that just to get them taken off. And now you've got a machine that is going to last and go with you. I mean, just look at this project. This is my eldest son, Oliver. He'll be 5 in December. I've made him his own Halloween cape. It comes with its own little button fastening. I've done a little pocket on the inside for him to put his little sweeties in. Yeah, because I put a little zip in here. I'm going to show you how to do this. But you know what? I am that Pinterest mom.
Yeah.
I am that lady who loses hours and hours of my life scrolling through Pinterest, being totally enamored. I would love to do this. I'd love to do that. And eventually it just caught up with me, and I thought, you know what? Why can I not do that? Because you watch the videos and it's not difficult. It's just having the confidence to start.
You have to have the right tools. You have to have the right quality tools, the right durability, the right instruction, the fully featured. And this is what's so great about this is not only are we saving you $20 today, but we're able to break up your payments over FlexPay. And if you're new to HSN, we welcome you in. But FlexPay is the way that you put $29.99 on your choice of charge card or debit card. We ship your brand new Gemini Stitch Sewing Machines out to you. And we're taking care of the shipping and handling as well. So it's another $16 savings. So now you're nearly a $40 savings, and you get to do things that maybe you watched your mother do. Maybe you watched your grandmother do. Maybe you'd love to be able to have your grandkids come over and say, you know, Grandma or Mimi, like, hey, can you fix this? Can you sew this? Can you, create a button or a zipper on this? Or create a beautiful bag or fix their favorite stuffed animal. You don't have to say, oh no, honey, I can't do that. Now you can feel empowered and confident and do it yourself. Well,
just look at this, zips. People seem to think, oh, zips, this is a dark art. Where could I start with this?
Right.
All I've done, I don't know if you were watching me, I've taken off the first foot that comes included and I've just switched on the zipper foot. So it's just a little clasp on the back and you take one foot off and zip the next one on. Now I'm going to take, I've taken a piece of the zipper. I'm going to take the zipper off because it's easier to sew it with the zipper off. And all you do is line the zipper up against the edge of the fabric. Okay. Now this is why the zipper foot is so awesome. You can't really put a zip on without a zipper foot, which is why I've included one for you instead of you having to buy it separate. So all we do is we put our needle in, and then can you see the foot is allowing us to get loads closer to the end. So for someone like me who really, do you know what would help if I go back to A? We don't need to blind hem our zipper foot on. No, so I can go straight down on the edge of my one here. Let's have a look. So if I just lift this up here, you can see how I am stitching that
stitched it.
right direct up against the very, very edge of the zipper. And all you're going to do, you're going to stitch all the way down, not your blind hem, you're going to go with your straight stitched all the way down, and you're going to get that perfect zipper stitch all the way down, either side.
I can't tell you how many times my zipper has detached and come apart, and I'm like, I just got to throw that blouse away, or it's a handbag that you love so much. This is durable. It's able to go through multiple layers of fabrics. We even saw the faux leather as well.
You saw us doing it with the leather. You saw us going through the suede material, the upholstery fabric. Now, I'm going to do a buttonhole. So did you see?
You're really showing off this morning, I've got to say.
Well, you want to see that you can do all this stuff. People, you don't just want to take my word for it. You want to be able to actually see it.
I love it.
Now, if you didn't see me do it before, all I'm doing is putting that foot underneath here so that when we clip down, it grasps that foot. Can you see? So it's grasp that foot ready. So all we do is put our fabric under, right? And then this buttonhole is all done ready for you. So if I go straight into here, right? Oh, do you know, I think, I have to rethread the machine. Can we go on to the other machine? Then I don't have to rethread my spool.
So you don't have to rethread that one. We can start it over here.
And I can take the zipper foot under the other one, right? So, actually this one, this one, what I'll do is, I'm going to get this one set up. I've got this one set up for quilting. Okay. So I'll show you the quilting, then we'll do the button, then I'll switch the feet over and do the button foot. Now, the quilting foot, if you remember, is the darning foot. So if I just, we've switched tables. Did you see, can you see it looks a little bit different? So this is what's called a free motion one. So what you're going to do is you're going to pop this on, you just screw it in at the back and the screw comes included. Easy. By the way, all of the tools that you need, can you see, all come in here. So they nest. You can score everything in there. So you can score everything in the little piece here. So when I shut that up, I've now got 3 layers. So if I pop this underneath here, let's have a look. I'll show you how to thread the machine as well while we're here. So we come round, we go under. If I lift this up, we go back over the top, back down, round the bottom here, and then if I pop my foot down, I've just got a pair of scissors here.
The scissors that sold out.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention it.
Those scissors sold out. I mean, this is how this day works. I mean, everything that Sarah brings in from Crafter's Companion always sells out, and we're so delighted. For the very first time, you're bringing us a sewing machine from Gemini. So it's $20 off today. We're doing 5 flexible payments. You break up your payments, you're able to pay this off over time, equal installments, and no added interest or anything or fees. We're taking care of the shipping and handling. As you're watching it, it's going through leather, it's going through durable materials. You're getting all of the feet that you need. It has that quick release so you can switch them interchangeably, an easy needle threader so you can get going right away. It is so simple to be able to kind of get back to basics. There's that free arm flexibility, and then 33 stitches. Think of all that you can do with those 33 stitches. You can get as fancy as you want. I mean, the biggest thing, which is really great, is whether you're a beginner and today you're thinking, gosh, I just remember, you know, my grandmother or my mom sewing, and I just want that power back. I want to be able to share that with the generations to come. This is the machine that you're going to be able to say, I can start here as a beginner, and I can grow and become an intermediate, and I can do fancy things like a buttonhole or a zipper or a bag. Things that people assume
you can't do.
Absolutely.
Now, I've threaded my needle up now, and do you know what I've remembered? There's a needle threader on it.
Yeah.
So I'm sat in here and I'm doing this. The needle threader, by the way, if I turn this around, you might be able to see it. Can you
forgot
see?
how advanced your own machine is, didn't you?
And I'm there trying to do it. So all you do to put the needle threader, you just pull this down, and can you see it pops into the hole ready? Anyway, I've popped the needle, I've threaded the needle the old-fashioned way.
Well,
there's something to be said for doing that live on air as well.
But you know what? I think that goes to show that a lot of us think we have to go back to basics and do things the old-fashioned way. Technology is really advanced, and this is a very advanced machine at such a phenomenal price. And I know many of you might have an old sewing machine that just has seen better days, and you need a new one. It just
needs an update. And I think the thing is for you, it doesn't matter where you're at in your sewing journey, you're going to be able to pick this up, you're going to be able to start with. I mean, look at this, I'm doing free motion quilting.
Pretty amazing.
And it's one of them things, you don't need an advanced machine. You have all of the different feet that you need included. And all I've done here, if I just pull this off, it's all we've done is switched out the different foot. And all we do to do that is that's coming on the back. You can see you get the switch, and the little, you see it's just coming right at the end. You're just going to undo that there.
Well, you show off again about the feet. You want to talk to Sandra? Sandra just got her brand new, she ordered her brand new
Will you go
machine.
And I'll switch back over to the other one and show you a bit more. You keep talking. Sandra.
Sandra from Kansas. Good morning or good evening. You're live on the air. I'm Valerie, and I'd love to introduce you to Sarah. Congratulations on your brand new Crafter's Companion sewing machine.
Yes, thank you. I've had a sewing machine that's probably 30 or 40 years old, and I was thinking about more sewing, and it worked so hard that I just was going to give up with frustration. And then I saw this sewing machine, and I thought, oh, good, I can start again.
I love that.
Do you know how wonderful? And what sort of sewing? What do you think you're going to be doing with it, Sandra?
Well, when I was a kid, or when I was in high school, I sewed all my own clothes, and when my daughter was born, I sewed all her clothes, and I've done doll clothes and adult clothes, and you know, I've made blankets and pillows, and you know, I've just done all kinds of things. But my sewing machine worked so bad that I just gave up.
Do you know what? It's one of them things. It's probably done its work. It's had its day, and it was about time you treat yourself to a new one, hey?
Yes, that's what I thought too.
Sandra, that's delightful, because it sounds to me like you have a lot of creativity stirring in you that may be getting back to making your own pillows or doing your own drapes or, you know, hemming your own clothes. And so I'm so excited that you were watching tonight.
Yes, I'm glad to have seen that this is available.
Great, fantastic, Sandra.
Sandra, I'm so that, and I hope are you going to be doing your own Halloween costumes like I have, Sandra?
Well, I don't know. I might try to do a granddaughter's. That might be interesting.
I love that.
Sandra, how much more is it going to mean to your granddaughter or to your son or daughter that you've done that? It's like you said, they're not going to look the same as all the other kids. They're going to have something different and unique, and you can be proud that you've made it.
Yes, yes.
And I guarantee your granddaughter will never forget something that you've made for her.
Yeah. Because I did my own kids when they were younger.
That's fantastic, Sandra.
That is wonderful.
It's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much, and congratulations. I can't wait to hear how much you love your brand new sewing machine. And I think so many of you are thinking about that, whether you're brand new to sewing and you're getting it for the first time, or you're just getting an upgrade. Today's definitely the day to do it.
Well, hopefully. I mean, we've seen a bit of quilting. We managed to see the buttonhole there. We've seen sewing through different materials, putting zippers on. I wanted you to see, for all of those jobs around the home, this is the machine that's going to be able to do it.
All right, well, we process your order. Sarah's sticking around, but I want to give you a little sneak peek of something that's going to be